started. 92 people in. Wow.
It's exploding.
Fred, your fingers must be sore trying to promote everyone.
It's warming up. It's warming up right now for the rest of the day.
And can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, it is 1:32. I am going to get started. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the 30th Annual International Purchasing and Supply Education and Research Association IPSERA Conference. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Donna Marshall, and I am Professor in Supply Chain Management at University College Dublin and President of IPSERA. It really has been an unprecedented year. For those of you badly affected by COVID-19, our thoughts and sympathies are with you. It's been a tough time for many of us, but we're starting to see some positive signs due to the vaccine, and hopefully next year will be very different and we can start to get together properly again. It's also been a tough year for IPSERA. Wendy Tate has now been organising the IPSERA conference for over 2 years, so she definitely needs a well-earned break after this. We were supposed to be in Knoxville last year and Barcelona this year, but our plans were completely disrupted and we had to change course very quickly. Wendy did an incredible job of switching gears from a physical conference to an online conference, bringing in the great help and support of Ryan Lyle as well. So Wendy and Ryan, a huge thank you to you both. The Executive Committee also created the Year of IPSERA in order to help our community come together to provide forums for gathering and for sharing the latest ideas and research on purchasing and supply management. Leo Marquez and each of our special interest group champions were absolutely pivotal in this. Also, Annie-Kaisa Kakkonen and George Zidizin created and ran online doctoral and educators workshops for our PhD and education communities. And Hakan Krasman communicated constantly with our community to keep everyone involved. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to the rest of our amazing executive committee, including Antonella, Fred, Jenny, Marika, Nadine, Niels, and Steve, who have worked almost non-stop over the past year to keep our community going, to develop our association in the most amazing ways, and to keep the IPSERA spirit alive and thriving. I'd also like to thank our amazing stage managers who have been with us through the training, through organising, and hoping that the technology holds together. Again, Ryan, who's the director of the stage managers, Annie Doman, Avril Sun, Favor Umba, Fago Huang, Georgios Vicinas, Guido Orzas, Arina Malitsina, Jade Chu, Jan Spreitzenbarth, Yan Wu Cha, Mark Zaleski, and Thu Trang Huang. This would literally not be happening without you. And thank you to our wonderful sponsors, Navy, the top purchasing and supply network in the Netherlands, and the supply chain finance community. And my final and biggest thank you goes to our incredible IPSERA community. For those of you joining us for the first time, what you might not realize is how unique and special this community is. I've been going to conferences and been a member of multiple associations, but there's nothing like the community of IPSERA. And I hope for anyone joining us virtually this year, you'll be able to join us physically one day to really experience the true IPSERA spirit. So not only is this the year of COVID-19, but it's also IPSERA's 30th anniversary. Our wonderful association was born on the rocky shores of Scotland in 1991 through the tenacity and foresight of Barry Moore, a marketing professor from Strathclyde University, and through the encouragement of the amazing Stuart Humby, a visionary president of the Institute of Purchasing and Supply. 1991 was quite an incredible year, and for many different reasons. So let's take a little trip back in time. So 1991 was the year that brought us the top songs, Summer, Summertime by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Try a Little Tenderness by The Commitments, Doesn't Matter If You're Black or White by Michael Jackson. Sorry for the singing, by the way. I feel an IPSERA playlist coming on. But all the cool kids were listening to Nirvana's Nevermind and their iconic Smells Like Teen Spirit. All hail the birth of grunge, said no mum of teenagers ever. But the biggest song of the year was Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams, Fast forward to 2021, and Brian's become a racist, swearing xenophobe posting on social media. The big movies of 1991 were Terminator 2, Judgment Day, with the iconic "Hasta la vista, baby," Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and my personal favorite, Thelma and Louise. This ode to female friendship and strength was badly needed, as women were still not allowed to wear trousers on the Senate floor in the US until 1993. And although women in Switzerland could vote in federal elections in 1971, they couldn't vote locally in the canton of Appenzell until 1991. The world population was just 5 million people, and huge political events that shook the foundations of our society were the order of this year. Apartheid in South Africa was finally dismantled. And 1991 also saw the end of the Gulf War, the end of the USSR, and the end of the Cold War, and the birth of Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Azerbaijan, Ukraine, Moldova, Lithuania, Latvia, Belarus, and Estonia. 1991 also saw some wins and some setbacks for LGBT rights. Although the Ukraine, Peru, and Hong Kong decriminalized homosexuality in 1991, it was not decriminalized in Ireland until 1993. And in 1991, the UK actually banned gay couples from fostering children. Belarus, Turkey, Russia, and the Vatican City were the only countries in Europe at that time still not to have any LGBT discrimination protection. In the US, this was the year that Los Angeles police severely beat Rodney King, leading to the LA riots when the police officers were acquitted. All of these with echoes today. Also, this year saw a huge cyclone in Bangladesh, killing 140,000 people and leaving 10 million homeless. It also saw one of the biggest volcanic eruptions ever recorded in the Philippines. But in happier news, Ed Sheeran, Ben & Jerry's, and the Airbag were all born in 1991, with the most worn items of clothing being platform shoes and parachute pants. And just to let you know, this will be the uniform at next year's IPSERA conference. It was also the biggest year for cannibals. Silence of the Lambs was a huge hit. It won the big five Oscars: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Writing, and gave us several spine-chilling phrases. "Hello, Clarice. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti." As fact is always stranger than fiction, it was also the year that the cannibal serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer was captured. He had killed and eaten 17 people. And 1991 was a huge year for technology. Tim Berners-Lee, the UK scientist, came up with the idea of making links on his own computer, and then others, creating the information mine, shortened to TIM. But just in case that was too egoistic, it was later renamed to what we all know as the World Wide Web. Although the World Wide Web was invented in 1989, Tim unveiled and opened the first web browser to the public in 1991. And to the joy of influencers everywhere, the first webcam was used by researchers in Cambridge. They used it to check their coffee pot without leaving their desks. Very handy. And I think this shows the true power of the Irish. The Queen's Award for Technological Advancement in 1991 didn't go to Tim Berners-Lee and his amazing web browser or even email. It went to the little plastic ball and cans of Guinness beer to make them frothy. Seriously, you don't mess with the Irish. It was also the year of PSERG, the Purchasing, Supply, Education and Research Group. If that name wasn't bad enough, Barry Moore, the first chair, thought about calling the group PEG, the Purchasing Education Group, to go with MEG, the Marketing Education Group. Thankfully, we didn't do that, or our wonderful journal, the Journal of Purchasing and Supply Management, would now be called JPEG. Since PSERG was renamed in 1993 to IPSERA when Richard Lamming became president, it has become an association with a network in the thousands, an active membership of many hundreds. And although we were told by several different platforms that numbers of online conference participants seem to be dropping, this year, the IPSERA conference has broken all its previous records. So we are absolutely delighted you can be here to celebrate 30 years of IPSERA with us. I'd like to close by saying, everything I do it for you. And in honor of IPSERA's 30th birthday, I'll be listening to some 90s hits and Ed Sheeran with a tub of Ben & Jerry's and a can of Guinness. And if there are any cannibals in our community, please try to avoid eating our members. Hasta la vista IPSERA, and enjoy the conference. Now I'll hand over to Steve Kelly and Wendy Tate to take you through all the details of the exciting next 4 days we have planned for you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Donna. So I will also say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, which I think is going to be a standard introductory phrase for us over the course of the next few days. You'll be pleased to know there's no singing from me or impressions, and I guess Donna's pretty much got IPSERA's Got Talent wrapped up as a winner after that. But thank you very much, Donna. So a very warm welcome from me. For those that don't know me, I'm Steve Kelly. I'm the Vice President of IPSERA. I work at Edgehill University in the United Kingdom, and really it's a huge welcome to obviously all of our I hesitate to use the word old members and participants, but if you know what I mean, and take it in the best possible way that it's intended, but also a really warm welcome to the significant number of new members and participants that we've got, which is absolutely fantastic. And as Donna said, I'll just give you the number of participants shortly, but as Donna said, we've had a really great turnout of both participants and also conference papers, working papers and practitioner papers as well, which is great. So from my own personal point of view, so I'm an ex-practitioner before I became an academic. So I attended my first IPSERA conference 10 years ago, so 2011 in Maastricht. And as somebody very new to the game, I was obviously apprehensive, nervous, anxious, etc., and was taken aback really by the hugely warm welcome from all aspects of the community. And it really was obvious to me that I'd found a home here. So I've continued to obviously attend the conferences, to serve on the executive committee, and to get involved in a number of other ways as well. So for the newer members just joining, or new members just joining, as Donna says, you know, we'll hopefully welcome you to the next conferences that we have on a more face-to-face basis. And I'm absolutely sure that, you know, all the preparation behind the scenes, Donna's already given some thanks. Wendy's going in to go give some more thanks. I'd like to reiterate my thanks to everybody else involved as well, but that we can continue that trend of warmth, collegiality, and openness and constructiveness that has been exemplified by previous conferences, and I certainly see that that'll happen in this year's conference as well. So as Donna mentioned, we've set new records in terms of numbers. So we've actually got 300 conference attendees attending this year, and 100 of those are PhDs, which, although those numbers look suspiciously rounded up or rounded down, rest assured they are actually the numbers, albeit we may have had a few extra registrations over the last half an hour or so. 40 minutes will get us over the 300 mark, but that's a great number of both, and it's really fantastic to see the number of PhD registrants within that as well, because obviously they're the future of IPSERA. They form a critical part of what we do. Obviously we have the doctoral workshop as well, but the attendance at the conference as well, which is absolutely great. So I don't want to steal Wendy's thunder in talking through the program in too much detail, but we've got a fantastic mix of a number of different types of sessions. So we've obviously got paper sessions. So we've got 117 conference papers this year, 52 working papers, and 65 competitive research papers. And we've also mixed in with that, we've got, which are happening shortly, the special interest group panels. We've got a number of invited sessions, all of which dealing with really topical, really relevant context for us to help with our own research. And then a mixture of social events. So as I've already mentioned, we've got the IPSERA has Got Talent event, which Donna's obviously just been warming up for before. There's a quiz being run by Robert Surmond as well. So the those that were listening out to some of Donna's facts may been frantically scribbling down. That might help you, or maybe not, with the quiz. But just to give you an idea of the overall content, we've got 132 hours of live content across the 6 stages that we're going to use within the Exordo platform. So we've got 35 sessions today, 26 tomorrow, 34 on Wednesday, and 24 different sessions on Thursday as well. And what we'll also be able to do, and Hakan's doing a fantastic job in leading us with this in terms of keeping us updated, pointing out where to go, is going to be sending regular updates, which I'm sure you've received already. So I will pass over to Wendy now, but as I mentioned, just to reiterate, fantastic to see everybody here. Looking forward to catching up with people at different parts of the conference. And we have a group chat, and we were actually saying, how excited we are about an online conference, which is actually, I don't think words we would have thought we would have uttered maybe a year ago, but it's probably reflective of the fantastic setup that we've got, all the hard work that a number of people have gone into this, and also probably a sign of the times as well. Okay, so thank you very much, and over to you, Wendy.
Okay, thank you, Steve. And I do take it really personally when you say old. It's just one of those things. It's really hard for me to relate to.
It was meant in the nicest possible British way, Wendy.
Cool. Can you see my slides? Very nice.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so thanks, Steve, and thanks, Donna. And yes, this has been one of the craziest over 2 years in planning, and we had some really exciting things planned for last year. Everything was all set and ready to go. So this year we decided to keep it with our 6 themed stages or rooms, and we have these rooms. We have Parton Palace, which, yes, is named for Dolly Parton. We have Dollywood, which is actually a place that we go to here in Knoxville. We, of course, have the Smokies room, which the Smokies are beautiful this time of year. Volunteer Walk, and our dear friend Peyton Manning, who did take us to a national championship in 1998, and we haven't won since. So we have these stages or rooms, and you'll see that the schedule is set around these stages and rooms. Parton Palace will be hosting all of the keynotes, so we will see you in that room for sure. So it does take a village to put together this online event, and Donna mentioned these stage managers, but they have a critical role, and they've been spending the last couple of weeks getting trained on using the system. So I really, really appreciate everyone that volunteered to be a stage manager. We also had a number of people that have volunteered to be session chairs. Many of you are longtime IPSERA people, our friends. And so I, again, appreciate your willingness to volunteer. It has taken some training and trying to figure out how to manage and run this system, but we appreciate everything that you're doing. I personally have special thanks to a number of people. Ryan has been there for weeks and months now, helping me with putting the conference together. Leo's been amazing, getting the technical aspects of this system down pat, and it has been quite challenging. Fredericks has been there the whole time. He's watched video after video to try to know how the system runs. Hawken is wonderful with his communication and making sure that everyone knows exactly what they need to do. And Jenny's back there in the background for tech support, and it is greatly appreciated. She's even running the IPSERA2021 help email. So if you have any problems, make sure that you reach out, and Jenny will be there to help you. So the rest of the IPSERA Executive Committee has been super supportive and has provided lots of insights throughout this process. So I just want to bring up a number of sessions. We have some amazing keynote sessions that are happening. Today we'll have a Meet the Editors session, which is always very exciting and interactive. And so we'll be going on to Zoom for that session. Tomorrow, I've invited a number of deans from different universities around the world to talk about what the new normal will look like in business schools. That will be a very interesting session as well. My colleague and friend, Andrea Sordi, is going to be hosting a panel on Tuesday, an ethics and sustainability panel, and he's bringing in some practitioners and other academics to discuss some of these pressing issues for purchasing and supply management. And on Wednesday, we will have a session on teaching sustainability and really why it's important to incorporate sustainability into our business education. We have lots of invited sessions. You'll see them on the schedule. Today, two kind of key invited sessions are the fashion, supply chain, and sustainability session, which looks very exciting. And then there's also one that's been coordinated by Luis Knight and Carmela on public procurement. So keep your eyes open on those. We do have 36 paper sessions across the 4 days. And another thanks, it does take a village, to all the reviewers that participated in the review process, and there were many. And another great thing about this conference is that there were some really excellent papers that were submitted. So hopefully those papers will be resubmitted to the JPSM special issue that we have each year for IPSERA manuscripts. And we will have papers that are both by invitation and by self-nomination. I have on the homepage, I've actually put the call that they submitted. Our guest editors, I know I saw some of them anyway in the session, Davide and Melik and Robert and Joanne. Thank you so much for offering to do that. That is a very big job, and it does take a while, but we're looking forward to some good contributions. There will be a short information session about this special issue on Thursday, April 1st at 8:30 Eastern time. And sorry, I only can deal in Eastern time. I know everybody's time zone changed yesterday, so it got super confusing. The social sessions were mentioned. I can't wait to see some of the talent we have, and I can't wait to hear some of the questions that will be asked. So hopefully you will join us all for those. So the opening of the conference are the special interest groups meetings, and these are they're very active groups. For those of you that are already members of the interest groups, that's great. You can go and see what's going on. For those of you that may want to join a special interest group, please feel free to go into any session that you find interesting. All 5 people have arranged a very fun and interactive session, and there are many other speakers that are coming in to join us for that. So that will start here in the next few minutes, and you can choose where it is that you want to go, and hopefully the technology and everything will be working fine. So we do have a help desk that is manned in the Fulmer room. For issues here throughout the conference, there is the email. For presenters and panelists, please arrive in the green room that's scheduled just before your session, 10 to 15 minutes prior to the start of the session. And I already have seen a number of people I haven't seen for a very long time. And I hope that we can see each other in the different sessions and hopefully in person next year. So have a fantastic conference. Thanks again for being here in this early morning session. We will go ahead and get started. Hopefully I wasn't on mute the whole time. Somebody would have told me.
No, just a few seconds, just a few seconds.
That would have been really embarrassing. So thank you, everyone. Good luck. Enjoy the conference and head out to your favorite SIG session. So we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. See you in a bit.
Bye.
Hi, Lutz. How are you?